your host here, Texas Drew. We are live here downtown at Southtown 101 here at Pub Sports Radio Studios coming at you. As you can see, it is just me today. The two lovely women that I do have with me now. Of course, everybody knows about Amanda Rogan, and now we have Ari Gold on the show. They are staying home with the kiddos, doing their mama thing and make sure they're being safe and, doing the mom thing when it comes to this time of that everybody's pretty much just have to stay home and of course, and being sheltered during the coronavirus that is going on today. So, but I'm here. I'm going to be bringing you guys a show. Hopefully, I can give you a tremendous show being all solito, but I do have some help sometimes when it comes to my producer that is behind that little box there, Mr. Josie. He's always liking to jump in sometimes, and I like when he does because we always have a good conversation from time to time. So I'm not technically alone, but yes, no, I'm just kidding. All right, let's go ahead and get it here. Let's get it started. We were talking about last week about the Tiger King, the whole show and everything like that of, as I called him, Joe Exotic. Joe Erotic. And everybody was just, it was pretty much like a phenomenon because it just took off. It started trending. Everybody started watching. I'm one of them. My producer's one of them. We started getting into it and stuff. But first of all, before I get into it, I want to say happy birthday to Mr. James Pledger. It's his birthday today from ESPN himself, the man himself from ESPN. He is a producer over there. Good friend of mine. Happy birthday to Mr. James Pledger. But going on into it, the Tiger King had 35 million views. 35 million views when it came out. So within a week span, there was 35 million views that people just started watching this, and it got so it just took off and just started going like a freaking choo-choo train, and it got so good, or people started watching it, and it got to a point where he's getting a sequel series. Yes, he is going to be making some more money off this series because he is getting paid from what he made off of Netflix. He is whatever the residuals or type of contract that they made to have Netflix use his name in this documentary and to basically, not blur him out or anything like that. So he's getting some residuals from this, and having a sequel is going to be more money for him. So, and there's also another thing that there was a little story that I heard going on with this whole Tiger King thing, that not only he's getting the sequel, he is going to be getting a sequel, and it might not be with Netflix. It could be with Netflix, but it's a negotiation with Netflix or Discovery Channel, which is Discovery Channel. I'm just like, wow, when I saw the story and stuff like that. So it's a negotiation between them two. But another thing is that he also might be getting a pardon.
That's unsurprising. That's not surprising.
There you go. There he is. Yes. If for those who didn't hear, it's not surprising. My producer said it's not surprising, and it's not really. Freaking Donald Trump's on this shit, and he's thinking about partying freaking Joe instead of worrying about this freaking coronavirus shit. Hey, Steve. Hey, Roxanne. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Josie? Pardon.
He shouldn't get one. But I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, it's to be expected.
Yeah, to be expected. Okay. Well, you know how it got kind of traction on the whole pardon thing, how it basically got up to Donald Trump was because of his son, Donald Jr., of course, the dumbass that he is.
Someone asked him about it in a press conference recently too. Yeah, that was tough.
I think that was it. They asked him, do you think he said something about the offense of having somebody a murder for hire is too high of being sentenced because he's supposed to be sentenced up to 22 years.
Is it too high? Is it though?
I know, right? Like, really? Is it?
Okay. That's a take right there.
Yeah, I mean, tell me your thoughts on that, guys. Should Joe get a pardon? I mean, the only one that can pardon anybody is the president of the United States, and we all know how fucking stupid he is. And I think he's gonna do it, dude. I honestly think he's gonna do it. It might happen because it's publicity, and you know how Donald Trump always wants to be in the spotlight in front of anything. So it's a possibility that he might get pardoned. I mean, it's like literally 60-40 chance. That's what I'm rating it at right now.
Yeah, I said I asked someone in the beginning, and I said this would be like a 30% chance. So I'll stay with the 30%.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of, yeah, okay. When it starts dying down, then I'll start going lower. But I think it's pretty high. I mean, because
It's
Don
fresh
just
on
always,
his brain.
yeah, he just wants to be in the spotlight most of the time, and then Joe just being Joe. I mean, he's getting a sequel series, and it's in negotiations between two companies. So what does that tell you?
I don't know what they're gonna do. Like what else you got? What other stories does Joe have in his bag?
Either maybe proving Carol fucking Baskin fucking did it or something. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I really don't know where they can go with this. Or fucking he's just a reality series in itself, honestly.
Exactly. Like, but if you're apparently not gonna get this pardon, maybe you will, maybe you won't. We're just gonna have a reality show of Joe in prison. Is that what we're gonna do?
I have no idea, but when I saw that story, I was like, wow, really? I mean, I guess when it's going, it's going. Might as well ride that money train and milk it for what it's worth.
If we're talking a Shawshank Redemption kind of story, but with Joe Exotic, I'm in. I'm in. I want Joe to be Andy Dufresne, and I want him to crawl through the pipe full of shit. He's gonna have to go through some tough times. He's gonna have to go through years with the sisters, but maybe he'll find a friend that will love tigers in there as well, and he'll get out.
You can start Morgan Freeman narrating. Ever
Exactly.
since I was a little boy, Andy Dufresne, I used to love that boy so much. That's what it's probably gonna be like, something like that, dude.
I
I
would
mean,
love
that
it.
would be something.
I would love it.
That would be a sight to see. But honestly, you guys tell me your thoughts. Those who are watching, the viewers that are watching right now on Facebook, um, would you guys want to see a sequel of this? I mean, I thought just a documentary. Once it's a documentary, it's done, unless it's really that good of a documentary. Which in this case, it was. 35 million views within the time that it came out, within a week. So that's saying a lot. I guess from Netflix standpoints, I mean, 35 million is a lot of people. I mean, everybody is staying home just watching everything. It's so let's see where it goes from there. Hey, Mr. Lennox, thanks for watching, sir. Jason Lennox is actually watching right now live from ESPN analyst on San Antonio radio. So
You
that's kind
won't
of cool.
come on to be a guest, you coward. You won't do it. We would hate to see
Actually,
it.
I've been dying to ask James Pledger to come on the show, because James Pledger is literally a nerd like me when it comes to movies and stuff like that, and then also trying to bring on Jason Ennis and Rob Thompson, because they're kind of like guest stars of San Antonio. Would you say? Because
Hey,
guest celebrities in San Antonio.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. I mean, that would be kind of cool. But we reached out to them. I mean, last year I did try out for the Rock the Mic challenge that they have for ESPN to get hired for them, and I'm going to do it again this year too. So that's how I was starting to know these guys. So it's kind of cool.
Well, I'm just saying, you would love to have you on the show, but we'd hate to see it too, you cowards. Twist my arm behind my back and threaten me with a good time to have them on the show.
Be working on it. Be working on it. I'll work on it.
Grind them down.
So moving along here, chugging along on the still movie side of things, is that what's kind of cool, since the whole WrestleMania that I'll be talking about later on in the show, there's going to be a new biopic coming out, and it's going to be very, very good. I think it's going to be a biopic about Ric Flair. And let me tell you, the biopic is something. I think it's going to be something, because if you ever seen any of the documentaries about Ric Flair that they've had in the past, they're really good in how he lived and his lifestyle. And then, of course, how he wrestled. I mean, the man wrestled up until he was like freaking 60, 65 years old, and still wrestling. His last match was against Shawn Michaels at a WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 25. And if he lost, he would retire from wrestling, and he's been out ever since. And the production behind this is $7 production, $7 production, which is The Rock's production. So with his production being the money, pretty much the here's the money, whatever you need, go make the biopic. this could be one of them biopics that could be, I'm not saying Oscar worthy or anything like that yet. It all depends who they get as an actor, who they get to direct it. But when you have The Rock basically funding you, I mean, look what he did with Fighting with My Family. That was a Sundance film, and it took off. I mean, it got almost like not Oscar recognition, but it got award recognition of not just with Sundance, but I'm talking with the Screen Actors Guild, stuff like that. But it did make money. It was a Sundance film, and it was only supposed to be like out of a certain amount of theaters, and then it blew up to where it got sent out worldwide, and it made money. So it makes money. The Rock makes money. Everything that he pretty much touches makes money. Hobbs and Shaw was his production company besides Universal. They made $1 billion off that freaking movie, where to the point it's going to be a franchise in itself within the Fast and the Furious realm. Guarantee it. So seeing Ric Flair, his biopic, I'm thinking who they can get to play the guy. And it's kind of hard to find somebody that can play Ric Flair, I think, with his charisma, his charismatic that he brought. And especially not just to wrestling. I mean, actually to wrestling, but sometimes he would be in little B films and stuff like that. But in wrestling, he was literally that guy that he personified as the Nature Boy. I mean, he was the jet flying, freaking limousine riding, running around. I mean, he was that guy. And to see him and a biopic about him, it's going to be good. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be good. And it's going to be great. The actor that I can see him playing him probably, I mean, Ric Flair is a pretty big dude in itself. When he was wrestling, I think he's about 6'2", 6'3". I can't see Chris Hemsworth. He's too big. It had to be somebody with it has to be a freaking blue-eyed guy. The only guy I can maybe think of besides Chris Hemsworth would probably be his brother Liam. I think Liam Hemsworth would probably be not a good Ric Flair, but I think you see because of the body type and everything like that. But we'll see how it goes. But all I know is a script out there, the production's behind already, and they are going to be moving forward once everything starts to calm down of this whole coronavirus. Because I mean, this has affected a lot of people in this world, not just the regular average Joes like me and you, but of course, actually does have a lot of effect with us with the average Joes, because the movie theaters right now that are not, people that are not working within the movie theaters, they're not making any money, to the point where AMC is thinking about filing for bankruptcy. So all of AMC theaters out there are thinking about filing for bankruptcy because they're not be able to show the movies, and of course they're paying their workers, but eventually they're gonna have to start letting people go, because if this continues how it's gonna be continuing, everybody's been pushing it a month and a month and a month. So we'll see after the April 30th here in San Antonio when if supposedly it might get lifted, but I don't think it won't. This thing might go all the way up until the summer, from what I'm thinking. But we'll just see how it goes, and just hope everybody just stays safe out there, stay clean, don't be touching your face and all that stuff, and always stay 6 feet apart from one another. So, but the biopic, I can't wait to see it when it comes out and everything like that. That's going to be very interesting to see that Ric Flair biopic. Still thinking on the theater side, of course, for me, when it comes to the whole movie side and stuff, is the MCU. And for most of the peoples out there that I usually pretty much talk to, MCU. What's going on with the MCU? What have you been hearing about the MCU? Well, they just broke. And the funniest thing is that every time I do this show, the day after or that weekend, something breaks, and I got to wait a whole week to tell you guys, when most people already know what's going on. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I like this show. I hope you guys love this show. I'm trying to make it the best new show out there, so you guys need to help me out here with that as well. So going on to the MCU, of course, with the whole coronavirus that has been going on, Black Widow was supposed to come out May 4th. Not going to happen. It's not even going to come out in the summer at all. They pushed it all the way back until November of this year, to basically where Eternals was supposed to come out of November 6th of 2020. That basically got placed by Black Widow. So pretty much everything that was supposed to come out this year got pushed back all the way up until next year and the following year after that. So for instance, it pretty much take each spot that got pushed back. So Black Widow took Eternal spot. Eternals is basically going to take Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. That was supposed to come out in February, but now Eternals is going to come out in February 21st of 2021. And then Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings, which I cannot wait to see. And I cannot wait to talk about this dude, because if y'all don't know who Shang-Chi is, man, y'all are going to be in for a rude awakening, because when I can't wait to see this movie, it's going to be the first Kung Fu movie of the MCU, of course. It's going to be Kung Fu all the way. But with a little bit inside of Shang-Chi, he is pretty much the hybrid of freaking every martial artist that you've known of movie-wise, or that you've seen, like for instance, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, those type of martial artists. That's those skilled martial artists that you see in the movies. He's pretty much all of them wrapped into one. That's just pretty much what I'm gonna give you a little hint of. So you let that sink in, and if you want to go check him out and look him up, go look him up. But he's no superpowers, none. He's all human, but that he is that much of a kung fu master. So he got pushed back all the way up until February. And then the Doctor Strange of Multiverse of Madness, which was supposed to come out that summer of 2021, pretty much got pushed back all the way until November 5th of 2021. And that took the spot of Thor Love and Thunder. So we were supposed to get Thor Love and Thunder next year. Now, and then of course, that got pushed back until February 18, 2022. And then, of course, Captain Marvel was actually supposed to come out that spot, and that got pushed back all the way up until July of 2022. So it's kind of, because everything's pretty much in halt into production. You can't really much do anything. And the reason why that Eternals, like I said last week, 2 weeks ago, Eternals was still pretty much in production, because all they're doing now is visual effects, and they can work from home. So they were literally going to be ready for that release date. So now what they can do is, if they want to, tweak a little bit more when it comes to visual effects, they most certainly can, and try to get what they can. And I cannot wait for Eternals, because that's going to be a good. I mean, I always say every movie pretty much is going to be good, but I don't. But the MCU, I've always had, like, everybody had their doubts about Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who they were. But when it came out and it started getting traction, everybody started going to see it, because it was that good of a movie, and it was that well written and that well directed, and the actors that were in there were fucking awesome. I mean, nobody thought freaking Dave Bautista was gonna be that good of being Drax. And that's what launched his career. I mean, that was literally his first major studio film. Yeah, he's been in other films, like the Iron Fist. He was in that film, and that was pretty much of a Sundance B film. That's what they consider it as. But this was his first major studio film of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it launched his career. Same thing with Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt was just basically doing Community. That was the show that he was pretty much on, and he went to go audition, and he got the freaking job. I mean, Dave Bautista auditioned, he got the freaking job. Pretty much the only one that didn't really have to audition was pretty much Zoe Saldana, because of the work that she's done, and of course in Avatar as well. So I think she was the only one that probably didn't have to audition, but everybody else did to get that role. And that's what Marvel does. They find the right people to play these characters. And for Eternals, it's going to be good. They have a good cast set up. So I'm just excited about the whole MCU all around, and especially that it sucks that we have to wait this long, but the outcome, I think, is going to be even better, because the anticipation that, I mean, we were literally supposed to see freaking Black Widow next month, and now we have to wait until the fall to see Black Widow. So we'll just see how it goes from there when it comes to that. But I'm stoked. I am excited to see all that stuff when it comes out. So you guys tell me what your thoughts on it. Are you excited when it comes to these pushback dates? Are you still gonna go see it when they come out? Are you still gonna go help those movie theaters when this whole coronavirus is done, to basically don't help them go into bankruptcy? And I kind of do want to get that Babaco and Big Red at a movie theater, to be honest with you. I was dying for that. And then pretty much every San Antonio was dying for that too. When I told
Very
that story.
interesting combo for a movie.
That was one of our first topics on actually that was our first topic on the very first episode of the show. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm so down, and I think other people would be down for that. I mean, you don't think that's a good combination to go for a movie?
I mean, I'm traditional like popcorn kind of guy.
Well, I am
But-
too. I am too for a traditional popcorn kind of guy, and candy. My thing would okay. Here's my traditional thing would be if I have my kids, of course, I would give them the popcorn, their drink, whatever they need, and then for me would be either if they didn't either had Sour Patch Kids. If they don't have Sour Patch Kids, I would get the ropes, the Sweet Tart ropes, and a hot dog and a drink for myself. That's mine right there. Because I already have the popcorn for the kids. And I'll just, bum off theirs.
because no one ever finishes the big tubs of popcorn.
No, they don't. Well, my kids kind of do to the point where I have to go refill it.
Body slam those.
Dude, they freaking throw it back like nothing, man.
The movie theaters be stealing your money, man. They're like, oh, you have this small popcorn for $2. Well, here, take a large that's double the size for like $1 more. And it's like, well, you got to do it.
You got to.
You never
got
finish
to.
the popcorn, like I said, unless you have multiple kids going after it.
Yeah, like check this out. We were having a family night, right? And we were just skimming through what we're gonna watch, and we happened to stumble upon on HBO Drop Dead Fred. You seen that movie?
No.
Okay. It's a 90s movie. Check it out if you ever have the opportunity to. It's called Drop Dead Fred. For my viewers out there who were born in my era, they know what I'm talking about Drop Dead Fred. And my kids have never seen Drop Dead Fred. So we were like, let's have a family movie night with popcorn and everything like that. And me and Matt just stumbled upon that and said, you know what? Let's watch Drop Dead Fred. And my kids literally watched Drop Dead Fred and they loved it. It's basically the concept of it is it goes back and forth of the character of a girl. She's as a child and then she's as an adult. Her name is Snotface when it comes to Drop Dead Fred, and she's pretty much he's an imaginary friend who gets you into mischief. So that's what the whole concept is.
I'm looking up some pictures of it right now, and let me tell you, the movie poster is wild. And my man's red hair is great.
And of course, it's she's also came on Gremlins too.
I've been told I need to watch Gremlins like so many times, and I refuse. And the Goonies too. The Goonies.
Yes, dude, you gotta watch the Goonies. I mean, come on, hey, you guys! Oh, you gotta watch Sloth, dude. He's awesome, and then of course you can't go wrong with Chunk. I was called Chunk when I was little.
Why? I can't. Don't know why.
Like,
can't tell why.
When you see the movie Goonies, and when you see Chunk and what he does, it's called the Truffle Shuffle.
Chunk. He seems like a skinny fella. I assume. I assume only the skinniest guys get the nickname Chunk.
Hey, it's like, hey, we're looking for Slim. No, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember how I was, but yeah, no, I'm just saying. But yeah, my brother used to make me do that all the time, dude. My brother used to make me do that dance all the time.
In middle school, we would peer pressure the larger gentlemen to do Truffle Shuffle all the time too. So I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
That's all right. Well, if you can't laugh at yourself. So what we're going to go ahead and do here, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here, and we'll be right back coming at you live from the film. We'll go ahead and talk about the sports side of my show, and we'll be coming live at you. Oh, God, I love this song. I just missed this show. Entourage. Dang, take me back. 28, 30, I guess, around there. Give or
been a
take.
while.
Yeah, my days are getting blurry.
I thought today was like Tuesday for the longest time.
Well, you kind of sort of are right. Let's start with the T.
It does, and it ends with day. So
Yes, it does. So you were halfway there, sir.
I was.
Halfway there. But what we got over the week was some good news for. I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I think a lot of people knew this was going to happen. When his name was eligible for the Hall of Fame. But I'm so glad. First ballot, Tim Duncan, Hall of Famer. Round of applause. Yeah, woo, Timmy. Like, do you have like a Timmy from South Park? Just go, Timmy. Timmy.
I can make something happen for you.
Sweet. Yes. That'd be cool. Lords of the Underworld.
I'd love when people try to argue that Kobe Bryant had a better career than Tim Duncan, and I have to mercilessly plant my fat flag, and say Tim Duncan better than Kobe Bryant all time.
I'm not gonna play devil's advocate. I mean, I can play devil's advocate when it comes to that, and I might as well do it because I'm the only guy here, and I do agree with you on that too. I mean, if you really think about it, out of them two, it's 10 rings between them. When we put them together, 5 and 5. Tim Duncan played 19 seasons. Kobe played about
I think
20, like one more than he did. Timmy this is how they're gonna match their conversation or this argument. I think they're gonna do it with the titles and the how much he's won with the championships and all that. That's how most people would do it, I think. But
I'll give you some stats for you. They both indeed have 5 titles.
Right.
Tim has 2 MVPs to Kobe's 1. Tim has 3 Finals MVPs to Kobe's 2.
mm-hmm.
Kobe has 1 more first team all time, 10 to 11, and 2 more All-Star games at 14 and 16.
Right.
So the important stuff, Tim leads, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He does lead in that category, but it's just that the whole Kobe-esque of comparing him to Michael Jordan and all that stuff of like, well, what did Tim Duncan do? What the fuck did he do? He took a freaking sports franchise that was down bottom of the lows and took him up to a fucking powerhouse for 20 years.
He's the best power forward of all time.
Yes, of course he is. Oh, hell yeah, he's the best power forward of all time. And I honestly think he did have Timmy. Yes. Timmy. Oh, awesome, dude. Yes, love that. Love it. But yes, the class that's going into this is a pretty fucking awesome class, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's one of the best all time. Not the best. We've done this research, but it's up there.
Yeah, it's not like with Michael Jordan, David Robinson, and who was with them with that class. I think that was one of the good classes of all time right there. With the one that Michael Jordan and David Robinson in, because there was a lot of them that were in that class. I think even Scottie Pippen was part of that too. I'm not too sure. But with this class, I mean, just these 3 Ks these 2 Ks and 1 T of Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett and Kobe. It's just freaking amazing. Each ones were first round picks. 2 of them were the number 1 picks of Timmy and Kevin Durant. Kevin Garnett. But it's just a great class, I think. But Timmy, hands down, best all time. He is over Kobe when it comes to, of course, all the accolades and stuff like that, except for scoring all-time leader. Of course, Kobe's like the number 1 in that category when it comes to them two. I think Kobe's like number 2 all-time scorer or 3 around there. But it's well deserved what he did for this franchise, what he did for this city. It was 5 rings. He gave David Robinson his last ring on the way out of when he was retiring, of pretty much this is how the cowboy rides away with that. Tim Duncan, he's just fucking badass, and he's still doing stuff for the city, and he's still doing stuff for the Spurs. I mean, granted, he's coaching now, or was, but I just think it's well deserved. I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer all the way. I think he probably would have been one of the first unanimous Hall of Famers of the NBA that probably had, because when he came into this league, he just dominated everybody. And he still dominated everybody when the game changed. So
Kobe 4th all time in total points scored. And
fourth all time?
Yeah, and the 2009 Hall of Fame class, which I'll probably say is one of the best, is in fact Michael Jordan, David Robinson, Jerry Sloan, the coach of the Jazz,
Yes,
and John Stockton.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty awesome fucking class. And then, I mean, Pop's gonna go into the Hall of Fame. He guaranteed.
Yep.
Manu's gonna go into the Hall of Fame, guaranteed.
He's borderline actually, but he probably will because everyone gets in the NBA Hall of Fame.
Well, not
It's the easiest Hall of Fame of all the sports to get into. A lot of questionable people in the Hall of Fame, but of course, it's technically the basketball Hall of Fame,
right?
So
yeah, because it also has the college in there too, right?
Yeah, it's college and Euro stats, so that's why Manu's gonna have a nice little boost too.
Oh, so they're gonna count that stat too as well.
Yeah, and the Olympics.
Oh,
that's why
fuck.
Carmelo's for
shit.
sure
What he
get
fucking Carmelo's gonna get in, of course, on the Olympic side. But what Manu did for the Olympics in Argentina in freaking 2004 was fucking amazing.
Exactly. So,
like, he took him out of nowhere to the gold medal. I mean, come on. They kicked the hell out of freaking US at that time too. And Timmy was playing. They got the bronze that year.
Yeah, and then the Redeem team had to come in. Shout out to Richard Jefferson on that team too.
But what's kind of cool though, Pop sticking with the US basketball.
Doing a poor job about it, but he stuck with it.
I mean, what can he do right now? Nothing. But who knows? Who knows?
All I know is Coach K didn't lose any games when he was the coach, and this year with half of the Celtics apparently.
Well, Coach K had all the All-Stars apparently, and
Pop's a better coach.
Of course, he is a better coach, but trying to learn the system, it's kind of
system. There's no system in this game. Pop should just like, guys, roll out the basketball. He just made some questionable roster choices too. He chose like Mason Plumlee over Bam Adebayo this offseason. That was really tough.
Yeah, that was,
can't win them all.
And can't win them all.
And technically, he's probably one of the GMs for the Spurs, and the whole Kawhi situation is tough too.
Yeah, to bring that name up.
Yep, I said the K word.
Blasphemy. Yeah, we'll see how that guy turned out. Jeez, I wonder how that happened.
He's already top 15. That's sad too. You hate to see that.
Yeah, already fucking. And he didn't have a shot when he came into the league.
No, 3 finals MVPs with 3 different teams. No one does that. So it's pretty good. Yeah,
well, we knew what we had even to begin with. I mean, in the 2012 finals. No. Where they first played Miami.
Yes.
12. We saw what he was coming of right then and there. I mean, if he made one of those free throws, the Spurs would have been back-to-back champs. Because you got to remember, he got fouled at the foul line to put them in the lead, and he missed both free throws.
Pop also makes some questionable decisions in that game, too. It's tough. It's a very tough look for Pop. He makes some bad decisions at many points in the playoffs, and it makes me not think he's the best coach all time, but he's definitely in the top 3 to 5.
His record shows it.
He's definitely in the top 3 to 5.
I mean, he's up there with pretty much Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson,
and Pat
Riley. I wish Jerry Sloan won a ring.
Yeah, he's up there, but he's not better than all the. Jerry Sloan's is like a great 5th guy.
Like, okay, if I had my top 5 coaches of all time when it comes to the NBA, Pop's number.
I wouldn't put Pop's number 1.
No, he's number 2. Wow. I would put Red Auerbach number 1.
How unbiased of you.
No, I'm that's honest to God truth. I will put Pop at number 2 until he beats the record. Who's number 1? No, it's actually Jerry Sloan's number 1.
Yeah, I think Jerry Sloan has the most wins.
But of course, Red Auerbach has the most championships because of the era that he played in. Of course, when you have freaking Bill Russell.
Well, I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair that he had the GOAT. Bill Russell?
No, it's not, but it's just like how the era of each era, how it's played. Pretty much each era had a GOAT in it. I mean, you had Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain. After that, it was either Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Pistol Pete.
Okay, so the top 3 coaches victory. Don Nelson is number 1.
Don.
1,335. Lenny Wilkins, 1,332. And Pop is 3 right now.
Pop is number 3. That's right. He just passed Jerry Sloan.
Yes, he just passed him on June 11th of 2019. By the way, Pop is really hurt by this lockout, whatever we're calling this, because he's losing half a season to get these wins, and next season is probably his last season as the Spurs coach. So that's tough.
He's gonna. I mean, it's the times have been changing. It's been when Timmy left, everybody's like, "Oh, what are we gonna do now?" And then when Manu left, and then when Tony left, yeah. I just hope that eventually, I'm hoping that they give the job to Becky. I really do. I really hope that they just do it the right way and giving her a chance to be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Because if not, then you can go ahead and get Bill Self, like everybody's been saying, from Kansas.
I would hate that.
So, I mean, I want to see Becky do what she can do.
I hope Tim Duncan doesn't get the heave-ho to the coaching spot before.
I hope so, don't either, because that's just like, come on, really? You had Becky here for literally almost 4 years now, learning your system, learning how to coach from one of the greats of coaching in the NBA.
That is like misogyny 101 right there.
So,
the man
I mean,
comes in.
Yeah, like, come on. And I don't think the Spurs would do that. I honestly think they would be, you know what? You paid your dues. You did what you did for us in the summer league with those young boys, of them winning the summer league title when she coached them the first time ever. When she was a head coach, I mean, granted it was for a summer league, but she was considered a head coach.
People were still trying.
Right. I mean, they, like in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers, one of their video coordinators helps them on the field, and she's a woman. So it's like spreading around, dude. And she doesn't want to go to coach college. I don't think she doesn't want to go to college at all.
No, I wouldn't want to coach if I was her. I
think
so. Yeah, stay in the pros.
Yeah, either that or somebody else is going to call her from the NBA and say, "Hey, you want to be the head coach of the NBA?" And then say, "You know what? We'll give you the reins," and that's it. Maybe that's when she'll probably go. But other than that, I think she's going to stay as a Spurs assistant head coach until she gets the job.
I hope so as well. That's just what I'll say. I was concerned that whenever Pop got ejected from games, Tim Duncan would just hop over to the first seat. But like you said, I don't feel like they would do that as either.
Right, exactly. So, but props to Tim Duncan, Hall of Famer, another Spurs Hall of Famer in the books. But congratulations to him, and we'll just see what his speech would go. But speaking of speeches, there was I did post this on my page on Facebook. Jason Nenix, who interviewed, I think it was an interview from Tim Duncan. I don't know if Jason Nenix did the interview, but there was an interview of Timmy, and he was so freaking humble of being a Hall of Famer, just like how he always is, pretty much. But you have to go check that out on my Facebook page. It's pretty cool of that. But there was some live sports entertainment this past weekend for Saturday and Sunday. We did talk about it last week on this show. WrestleMania took place over the weekend, and it was very interesting. It did set a record in attendance. It set a new record in attendance.
It always does.
It always does. Every year, there's always a new record for some reason in attendance for some type of stadium. But man, okay. I'm a big wrestling fan. I give AEW a chance. I watch AEW, but my thing is WWE. That's the blood in my veins and stuff like that. And they actually did a pretty good show. Granted, it was taped, just like they've been been doing through this whole coronavirus thing. That's how we've been getting our entertainment. They've already been taped already at the Performance Center. So when they put on this WrestleMania, now granted, this WrestleMania was supposed to be in Tampa at the Ray J Stadium over there where the Bucks play. They did it at their own in Orlando, and just like how they've been doing every show, and it was very, very, very. I consider it good. I give it 4 long horns when it comes to this show, as you can see. Always representing it. 4 Longhorns on it because
Out of 5 Longhorns?
out of 5.
Or was it out of 10 Longhorns?
No, it's okay. We can do 6 when
Fair
it comes to wrestling. We'll give it 6. So 4 was good. I mean, for 4 was good for Saturday, and then Sunday it was about okay, maybe a 5, maybe barely just nudging it out. And the reason why,
5.
yeah, the reason why I give it a 5 for Sunday night was because Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE title, and for 4, I'm glad Braun Strowman won his title for that. I mean, speaking of that, we know what's kind of funny. Last week, how we were talking about about WrestleMania, and how I was saying it was supposed to be Goldberg originally and Roman Reigns fighting for the Universal title, and Amanda Rogan said, "Well, you know what? I'm just gonna pick Brock Lesnar to win." To beat Goldberg, and he wasn't even in the match because we didn't know who Goldberg opponent was.
So she knew something. She had
sources. She had the inside scoop. And
she could be flaunting her victory right now. What a shame.
Oh, she was. Let me tell you. When I told her, I was like, check it out. Look who's fighting Goldberg right now. Because I didn't tell her when I found out. I wanted to show her when the match was going to happen. And it was perfect time when the match started going. And I go, check it out. Look who's going to be fighting Goldberg. And she's like, who? And how his song comes on with him yelling and shit. She's like, oh my God, I told you. She was just like rubbing it in my face. And I was like, hey, guts. I was fucking like, whoa. When I saw the news that broke, I was like, oh my God. But she can see the future. Scary.
Yeah, I'd be concerned if I was you.
Scary. But glad Braun Strowman won. Glad Drew McIntyre won. Becky Lynch retained her title. I really thought she was gonna lose it, and take a break, because she's been the champ for over a year. But she's still the champ, so we'll see where that goes. We got new tag team champions when it comes to the women's division in Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They beat the Kabuki Warriors. So they're back. They're actually a two-time tag team women's champion. So and I like how they're doing. I like how they're doing that now that the WWE are, doing a women's tag team division, and then they have the 2 separate belts of the women's division for SmackDown and Raw, which is kind of cool. And hopefully, eventually, they'll separate the women's tag team as like how they have it for the men. One tag team from one brand, one tag team from the other brand, and of course, the tag team from NXT. So hopefully eventually they'll do that. But the women's tag teams, whoever, for instance, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, have to defend the titles within all 3 brands. So that's kind of cool too as well. But speaking of NXT, Charlotte Flair is your new NXT champion. Like, I kind of knew she was going to win because she's always won at WrestleMania so far. She might be the new streak, for instance, for like The Undertaker. But she's the new NXT champion, so she's gonna be on NXT for a bit, I guess. But she can also still go to Raw because she's part of the Raw roster too. So we'll see how that goes. The Street Profits retain. Now the Street Profits, I like these guys. The Street Profits are some cool dudes of Dawkins and Harris, and they are cool, funny, very charismatic, and their slogan is "We want some smoke." So we want some smoke when it comes to the Street Profits, and they retain their Raw Tag Team Championships. Freaking Miz and Morrison retained their SmackDown Championships over the ladder match of that, that was good in itself. That was for a good ladder match. I mean, granted, it was supposed to be all 3 teams within the ladder match, but since the Performance Center was only so much, and you can only be 6 feet apart between one another, but yet they still wrestled like that. It was pretty much each one member from each team, and of course Morrison retained it for the Miz and Morrison, so they retained the SmackDown titles. Bayley retained hers. I kind of see Bayley and Sasha kind of going at it again. Sasha Banks going to be becoming your new SmackDown Women's Championship. She's been a champion for over a year as well, for the SmackDown Women's title. She set a record for that. just like pretty much Becky Lynch did. I really thought they were going to lose their titles and we were going to get new women's championships, but we didn't. The only new women's championship we got was Charlotte Flair for the NXT. So, and then the last man standing match of Edge and Orton.
Heard it was long.
It was. I mean, which usually a lot of the last man standing matches are, but of course you have a whole arena to go all over. But they had the Performance Center, and what they kind of used what they got out of the Performance Center, and it was kind of interesting. Like there was a moment they were in an office, and Edge was, just smacking down Randy Orton. He was laying on a table, and he looks up, and there's like this fence lining that's just hanging up there, and Edge climbs up there and like drops an elbow. Like they were just being, using what they had around them, I guess. Like freaking Randy Orton was gonna knock Edge's head off with the freaking plate weight, but that didn't happen. He threw the sled at him. Edge moved out of the way. But I like how it ended. It did end it on the top of a rig. Did you see WrestleMania at all?
I've seen clips and pieces. I need to watch the John Cena Bray Wyatt match,
dude. Now, okay, I was actually gonna get to that next. I mean, later, because I was going to talk about the Boneyard match with the Undertaker.
I need to watch that too, but I get the gist of that.
But that Firefly Funhouse match, of course, now that was literally a production and it's scripted, like wrestling is, and it is scripted. But that match was like something out of freaking Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, dude. Literally, it was like you were on that type of a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas trip. You know what I'm talking? You ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or read the book or anything like that?
Nope.
Damn it! Well, that's another one you gotta put it on your list there, sir.
I like to think I watch movies too. I just don't watch as many movies as you guys. I know my movies. No, and I got my niche.
It's just me, honestly. I kind of get Amanda into the movies and Ari into the movies too. But yeah, I'm pretty much the movie buff when it comes to all three of us. Like dude, seriously, I watch silent films. Like I watch old school Charlie Chaplin films. That's how far I go back.
I took a theater appreciation class, and that's when I met Do the Right Thing, and that was the best movie I've seen in a movie class. So shout out to that. That's about nice. That's about the old movie genre I've got in my bag.
Nice. Yeah, that's a pretty good movie. Nice choice there. Very good. Nice
shout out to the movie professor.
Shout it out. Shout it out loud. But yes, going back to WrestleMania, so you are gonna go back and watch it. But the Firefly Funhouse, when I saw that, dude, I was like literally watching a trip from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas to where it's pretty much the whole movie is like stretching how far you can stretch out your trip of doing psychedelic drugs. And this was like after the 60s. This was like during 1971. And this was based on a true story and based on a book. So you got to check that out when you can, Josie. Check it out.
No problem.
But that Firefly Funhouse is literally like that. For those who saw WrestleMania, and if you know what I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure you agreed how, spoiler alert, how they went through John Cena's pretty much career, how he first came out of Ruthless Aggression, how he came out of Doctor of Thugonomics, how somehow he was part of NWO, the Wolfpack of NWO. Yeah, it was pretty much like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Christmas Carol rolled into one. And so that's what it was like with the Ghost of Christmas Past, something like that. But that was trippy in itself. And then of course the Boneyard match of Undertaker and AJ Styles was another production setup in itself of Undertaker being Undertaker and still maintaining that one loss. Because I don't think if he comes back for every WrestleMania from here on out, he is not probably going to lose again. Because I think that one loss against Brock Lesnar was literally that broke that streak. And I don't think he's going to lose again unless it's probably Brock Lesnar again fighting him.
Everyone knows they fucked that up too.
I really thought that streak was going to keep on going, dude.
Everyone did.
I mean, okay. Honestly, hey, what's up, cuz? Thanks for tuning in. My cousin Alex is tuning in. What's up? I honestly literally thought it was going to be fucking Shawn Michaels. Like, I thought he was going to do it because I thought Shawn was literally going to continue to wrestle, but I guess he was literally done. And then when Triple H tried to do it twice, that didn't fucking happen.
And when the both of them
tried, in Miami, that didn't fucking work.
That was that was.
I thought that was gonna be it, dude.
That's probably that and the Shawn Michaels Undertaker matches and WrestleMania, both of them. Those are the peak, and now everything from then has been downhill from Undertaker.
Yeah, well, it's catching up.
Age, yeah, exactly. But now with these produced matches and stuff,
right?
This is a second career,
right? Exactly. I mean, that's what it kind of was, because he was supposed to be the American badass in this one, but we also saw that glimpse of the Undertaker. Like, when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give you too much.
No, please give it to me all. I mean,
no, but like within the match, like he gets put in the grave. Of course, right? And he's there all passed out, and then AJ's like, "Oh yeah, I got this. And he turns on the tractor, and he's like, "Oh, it's over." And then all of a sudden, like, these big old bright lights come out from behind AJ Styles, like something out of a horror movie. And you see Undertaker just all like doing his Undertaker thing, and AJ Styles is like, and he turns around and goes, "What the? How? Who are you? Oh my God!" Like, just then that's like the Undertaker being the Undertaker, and he's been doing it since 1990. 1990 was the first appearance at Survivor Series the Undertaker came out, and it's 2020. So he's still one of those still going from that era. I mean, he went from the 90 era to the Attitude era to the Ruthless Aggression era to the GP era to what we're era in now. That's the Undertaker's career.
And it's pretty wild. It's
and yet he's still not a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's gonna be, but yet he's still not named a Hall of Famer. So
yeah. I guess you gotta wait until he's actually retired.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we thought that Roman Reigns. Oh, you know what? Actually, he does have 2 losses at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns beat him.
Oh yeah, he did that.
That's right. Duh. Sorry, guys, I fucked up, but I caught myself. So he does have 2 losses at WrestleMania. Okay.
The 2 now doesn't seem as sexy as the 0 or the 1.
20-2. 21-2.
Yeah, that's not what we want.
No, I mean, I really thought that streak was gonna keep going, dude. Honestly, but but going back to
shout out to Vince,
to the new champions, I should say, of Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. For Drew McIntyre, it's been a long time coming. 13 years in this business, and this is his first world title. Being a WWE champion, and it's well deserved. When he first came back into WWE, he was a heel. And now he's going to that, I guess, babyface style, because what made it turn into the babyface is what he did at the Royal Rumble. When he knocked out Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, that made them turn from a heel to a babyface. And then when he won it, and how the whole arena erupted when Drew McIntyre won it, Vince was like, boom, there's my new champion for the next year or 6 months or whatever, how long he holds the title. And before when he first came into the WWE, Vince McMahon said it himself that he was a future world champion. And that's when he was like 21. And this was back in 2000, I want to say 4 or 5, somewhere around there. And then all of a sudden he just disappeared, went to TNA wrestling or some other outlet wrestling, and then came back to the WWE, paid his dues, and now he's a world champ. Well deserved. And I thought the match was going to go on a little bit longer than it did. But it is what it is. And how it started, it was kind of cool. You boom, freaking with the Claymore, Brock kicked out, and Brock did his thing. Drew kicked out, and it was just back and forth. So like, oh my God, these 2 mega powers kicked out of each other's super moves. So it was a good match, and it was still well deserved. For Drew McIntyre being the new WWE champion. And then of course Braun Strowman, since he came in, this is the guy I started to like, one of the new guys. I mean, he's been in the WWE, but when I started watching him, he was part of the Wyatt family. He was the black sheep, and then he branched out into his own, and he just took off, dude. The monster among men. He is a freak of nature. He's freaking 6'8", 380 something pounds, and I'm so glad he won. Granted, it was against Goldberg, and of course, Goldberg is not Goldberg anymore. He's not even Goldberg. What Goldberg did to Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series a few years back. He's not that Goldberg. Goldberg is old, and I honestly thought the Goldberg was going to lose against the Fiend, and I thought it was going to be the Fiend against Roman Reigns, but Goldberg beat the Fiend, so it was supposed to be the Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. But now since Roman Reigns couldn't do it because of his cancer and the whole COVID-19, that's why he backed out. They're putting Braun Strowman, and then Braun Strowman pretty much took over Goldberg. Like, that match was cool, dude. Goldberg hit Braun Strowman with 4 spears. 4. He did Brock too, and then a jackhammer within 19 seconds or some shit like that. What the match was at Survivor Series, and Braun Strowman kicked out of every single one. He tried to do the jackhammer, couldn't do it. Too big. Freaking Braun Strowman turned it into a power slam. Boom. And he did not let up after that. Braun Strowman gave Goldberg, I think, four power slams and then a running one. So I think 5. And then he pinned him. And that's how he won the match. So it was a good WrestleMania. And then freaking Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, dude. Kevin Owens, man. Finally, I was waiting for somebody to do something high flying off of something high. And Kevin Owens gave it to me. When he jumped off the WrestleMania sign onto Seth Rollins, and you heard Seth like you heard him wheezing, dude, because there was nobody there of screaming and yelling. So you heard what the mics were picking up, and Seth was really took an elbow straight to the chest from Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens was at least 40-30 feet off the ground. Like, he was on top of that WrestleMania sign behind the announcers, and he jumped off, elbow Seth Rollins onto a table, and Seth was just wheezing. So it was a good WrestleMania. I'm glad that Braun won. I'm glad Drew won. I was hoping maybe Becky Lynch might lose her title, but who knows? They might say that for Ronda Rousey when she comes back. Yep, I said it. She be. Yep, watch, look out for it. Ronda might be coming back. But it was just a good WrestleMania for the time that we're in right now, and glad they gave us some entertainment. A lot of people were watching it. Some of my friends that I have, or my followers that I have on Facebook and Instagram, they were watching it. They were Instagramming it. They were tweeting it out. So it was a good WrestleMania for the time of that we are going through right now. So. But that's gonna be it for our show tonight. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. You guys keep clean, stay safe, stay 6 feet apart, and always tune in next week. We are always going to be here every Thursday night here at the Film Room down here at Live Town, Southtown 101, Pub Sports Radio Studios. I'm your host, Texas Drew. We will see you next week. I am out.